Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu salam, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Tariq Khalid. I'd like to welcome to our program here at Sharjah Media Corporation, Doing Good. And we hope by Allah's mercy and grace that all our viewers are doing good by the criteria which Allah has set for us, which is good. And we're always encouraging each other and trying to motivate each other to do those things regardless of our present condition that would be most pleasing to our Creator. And of course, we all know there are many tests for us in this world, and many of us tested in different ways based on where we're living, our society, our culture, and so forth and so on. But we thank Allah under all conditions, and we believe in Him, and we're steadfast in that belief regardless of what challenges that we may face. So doing good for one person may be very different than another, and how people see it also may distinguish itself from what is commonly understood in the society. But ultimately, again, what are we looking at? We're looking at the pleasure of our Creator, and that's what's really valuable, and that's what's important. Unfortunately, we have so many distractions today, and those distractions take us away from that principle. And some people say, well, you don't have to be so extreme. Well, let's look at it from this perspective. None of us know when we're going to leave this world, but all of us know that we're going to leave. And we need to understand something about our condition when we leave. That the only thing that will go with us is our deeds, both good and bad. So which would you choose? If you think about it, which would you choose to take with you on a journey? Of course, a sensible person would say, I want to leave all of my bad deeds and habits behind me. I want to take just what is good and beneficial with me to move ahead. So if we become conscious and aware of our life in this perspective, and we put it in a very simple form, meaning that on a daily basis, I'm thinking from the time I get up in the morning, what am I going to do today? Or how am I going to work today, go to school today, or whatever it is that I do on a daily basis in a way that is most pleasing to Allah. Just try it. Try it today. From today, it doesn't matter where you are right now. You might be at nighttime somewhere. So for the rest of the night, try it. Before you go to bed, try it with intention to wake up and say, all praise is due to Allah, who woke me from my sleep, actually from my death, and brought me back to life, and has given me another day in which to seek the pleasure of Allah. Just think about it from that perspective. It becomes different for us, doesn't it? And the day becomes different. If you try it, you see your day becomes different, because many of the things that you thought were so important to you, they might change their value. And we're not saying, for example, you don't do your job to your maximum capacity, or if you're a student, you don't work as hard to study to become an A student, or if you're an athlete, you don't focus and do what is required to become a champion. No, we're not saying that at all. We're not saying be distracted from that at all. We're encouraging that, but what we're saying is stay focused in what you're doing and keep it within the guidelines that will be pleasing to Allah. And we have many challenges. We do maybe some things just out of normalcy, meaning things that we do regularly without thinking about it. Some things that we might say that are not good, but it's come common in our vocabulary, or in our environment. And unfortunately, even today in media, some foul language, some people don't even consider to be foul language anymore. And some of them think it's very funny and entertaining, and they use it as a means of entertainment to make money off of it. But the Prophet ﷺ said something to this effect, something very short and very powerful. Speak good or be silent. Now, some people have lost the context of this, of what is good, what is wholesome, what is beneficial, what is evil, and what is somewhere in the middle. Many people have just lost the reality of that. And as a result, there's no word on their vocabulary, vulgarity, there's no such word. What is vulgar? What does it mean? We don't know what that means. Some people say, we don't know what that means. So just the voice, our speech, if we could control our speech, focus just on that for a day. Control what I'm saying, how I say it, who I talk to, how I talk to them. Thinking that however I talk to a person, whatever the circumstance, I want to incline them to righteousness. I want to be an inviter for righteousness. I want to be an example for that which is good and wholesome. The person that I'm talking to or the people, they may not be receptive. People rejected the prophets of Allah all throughout history. They were far greater than we could ever be. But it did not deter them from their mission. So individually, we might say, well, I don't see myself like that, but I do want Allah, I do want God to be pleased with me. I think that's valuable. I think that's important. And I don't know how to do that. So let's start with the word. Let's start with the good word. And the best word is there is no God but God. This is the best word, the one and only God, to worship him only. This is the best word. La ilaha illallah. To worship the one and only God. To not place anything else before him or associate anything with him or after. Simply worship him only and invite people to this worship. This is the most noble task that any human can perform. Some people say, well, I doubt with you. I have some doubt about what you're saying. I says, okay, fine. Maybe you don't have the information. What about that? But we know that there were thousands of prophets who were sent down through the ages to people in different places and different times. To do what? To invite the people back to that which was good. To invite them away from their evil habits and deeds and actions. So today, this is our responsibility, the Muslims, to first attempt to establish an example, a prototype of the correct behavior. Of course, we're human, so you have Muslims who do all kinds of things. But this is not the majority of Muslims. And it is important to have the correct knowledge of how we should live, what it is that we should do, how we should implement Islam in our life on a daily basis. And that in itself should be an invitation to others. When they see the proper life of a Muslim should be an invitation to other people about their lives. Now, some people question and say, well, you guys are a bunch of terrorists, and you're doing this, and you're doing that. I says, well, we always say, are all of the Muslims doing that? We cannot say they're not bad Muslims, But all of the Muslims are doing that. And if that is the case, then how could the world be in the condition that it's in when there are approximately 1.8 billion Muslims in the world? Every country in the earth, on the earth. So that means the whole world would be in total conflict and chaos. But this isn't the case, is it? So we want to bring peace to the hearts of the creation of Allah. Because we found that many people today, their hearts are broken. And they don't understand why their hearts are broken. But they don't have a relationship with their Lord. In many instances, they don't even know who their Lord is, and they're in denial about it and in total confusion. So we're saying, if you want to do good, the best deed is that deed which is most pleasing to Allah. And that is to realize who is your creator. Why did he create you? What is your function for being on this earth? What is your duty? What should you be doing? Where is the benefit for you in this world? And where is the harm? Many people have become totally confused about this. Good and bad, if you want to call it like that. But they become confused about what is righteousness and what is evil. So we're saying righteousness is very simple. Evil is also simple to understand. Righteousness is about obeying the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the way that he has ordained for us, not in the way that I choose for myself. To implement it in our life on a daily basis, to continue learning and implementing on a daily basis, believing ultimately that our victory is with Allah under all conditions. Under the worst condition that we can believe in, we have to believe in that, the fact that Allah can change that condition. Allah can change that situation. But we have a requirement. That requirement is we have to be steadfast. We have to be functioning in accordance to the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the path for success, regardless of our condition. Allah knows our condition. If you're deaf and blind and you can't speak, Allah knows your condition. Does it change you from being able to communicate with Allah? No, not at all. You may have difficulty communicating with other human beings, but Allah knows your intention. Allah knows your very sensitivity. And our efforts and struggle to make this a reality, believing that my present existence is temporary. And that which I'm going to is also temporary. And after that, being in the grave, it is a temporary situation. After that, I will go to what is permanent, which can also change. And may Allah protect us from this, but some people go to hellfire and come out and go directly to Jannah, but they'll spend some time in hellfire. Some people will go directly to Jannah. So there's a whole host of situations that we're working for, but ultimately we want paradise, don't we? Is anyone out there who doesn't want paradise? If someone says, well, I don't believe in paradise, says, well, do you know what paradise is? It's for you to say that you don't believe in it. When there's nothing on this earth, all the things that you have in this earth, okay, are not equal to a grain of sand in paradise. Could you believe that? No, nobody can believe that. Nobody can believe that. But if we would look at it and we see that it is easy for Allah. It is easy for Him. And paradise is something totally distinct from this world. the comparative analysis that we've been given about the things in this world related to the things in paradise, that has only been given to us because there's something that we can understand, something that we can comprehend, something that we can relate to. So it has been given as a parallel. It doesn't mean that it is the same. It is extremely different and very, very different. Let's imagine you will not die. So how can you relate that in this world? You cannot. It's a very different and distinct thing. We know that. There's no such thing as this in this world. It does not exist. So the reality that we're faced with, the challenges that we're faced with, how do we deal with those things on a daily basis? What means and methods do we use to face adversity and difficulty on a daily basis in our lives? Are we dependent on Allah? Do we call on Allah regularly? Or are we among the people we only call on Allah when we need something? When there is some difficulty, oh Allah, please help me out, this example. But we don't feel the importance of worshiping Him on a daily basis in the way that He's prescribed. For the sake of our own souls. Just think about that. Because I ask many people, I says, do you pray? They says, no, when I have some issues, I pray. I says, well, do you think that Allah should answer you just when you have issues? When He has given us a criteria to receive the abundance that He can only grant us. But we need to proceed in a particular manner. And our success is in this, not in something separate and apart from this. So take the time out today. Think about what is your present condition. What is it that you would like to do to change it, to improve it? And all of us can say we can improve because we want our lives to be a guide to paradise. To paradise. We don't know how much longer we'll be on this earth, but we want to be living properly, in the proper manner that Allah is pleased with, that He will grant us paradise. So strive today, while you can, to do good for the sake of your own souls, believing that Allah is going to give the believers the paradise. My name is Tariq Khalid. I'd like to thank you for joining us here at Sharjah Media Corporation. Doing good. Keep it in mind. Stay focused today, because tomorrow is not promised. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.